Hi everyone, this is Michelle Markey with Meduna Domestic Art Studio, and this is one in a multitude of videos that I plan on making to talk about doing background fills. This is an intermediate video, so if you are watching this, if you have never attempted to color on fabric before, you may want to watch some of my earlier videos and try to get comfortable with the process of coloring on fabric before you attempt this. In any event, this is going to be for those who have colored one of my blocks in the past and who would like to try to make a nice, pretty background, fairly easy, fairly simple, or who you may have a couple of coloring mistakes in here and you would like to try to disguise or put them in as your creative opportunity instead of calling it a mistake. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you that this is a sample that I use in class. And it's something I keep so that I can play around and do exactly what I'm doing here. For those of you who have taken my class, I cannot stress strongly enough, find something to practice on first. Get yourself some muslin, draw you out a design, practice this method that I'm going to teach you first before you attempt it on your own piece. Because once you start doing this, you're stuck. You need to finish it so that it doesn't look bad in the long run. So what you can see is that I've already colored around this daisy. I started with a very pale yellow and then kind of worked my way out through apricot and towards a deeper orange. And I'm using these colors so that you can kind of get a general idea what it looks like when you use high contrast colors. And the way I created these colors was I used Dynaflow. And let me grab that for you here real quick. Of course, naturally, I don't have the right color in front of me, but I can show you the purple. This is Dynaflow. This is it's a paint that acts like an ink. And I don't use it straight. I do mix it with my fabric medium. In fact, for this blend, all I did was I used maybe 2 or 3 drops and then filled the rest of the pot up with fabric medium so that it was very pale in color and wasn't super strong. I don't think you want to start out with super strong colors and attempting to do this. I think you really need to have a very watered down look before you tackle this with any kind of strong color. So with that, I'm going to hopefully wash my brush out very, very well, which is what you really should do for this. You want clean color that is actually going to kind of merge into the other colors. So it is always best first to start out with the yellow, work through the apricot and into the orange. So I'm just going to do a small section of this. I'm lightly putting this down. I'm also glad to see that I have kind of an abrupt end because I want to talk about how you treat that, because this is going to happen as you paint. Now notice I'm kind of carrying that yellow way far up into here. You definitely want to do that because you will be overlapping these colors as you do each one. So I'm just going to carry that out like that. We'll put a tiny bit of yellow down here, in here. You just want a very nice faint color around your work. And I would suggest going forward that as you do this, that you choose very light pale colors so that it acts like a shadow and pops your work out. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the apricot. And now I want to overlap. In this case, it's about 1/2 inch. And I'm just kind of also overlapping where I had previous colored. And just like I did with the yellow, I'm kind of carrying this out really, really far. You can see it's not a strong color, but I am coming into the yellow a good 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to do the same thing now with this orange. You can see the orange and the apricot aren't that much different. That's actually what I wanted. I just wanted it to lightly go out as it comes out into the edge of the fabric. Okay, now quickly, while the paints are still wet, you take a cotton ball. You are going to dip it into the yellow. Make sure you get all the excess paint off. So I have just a little bit of this. And I'm just going to kind of dab it where the 2 colors overlap. And I'm just trying to get kind of a fuzzy look and take away that harsh line. But you first want to go over it with the yellow. Then typically what I do is I just flip the cotton ball over, come in here into, ooh, that's way too much. Yeah, try to get all the excess off. You want just very little. You just want to come in here and blend it, put a little bit of that down, come up here where there's the lap over. And then last but not least, and try not to get this on the rest of your work, take the cotton ball with no color in it and go over and pick up the excess color. And what you're going to get, as you can probably see, is kind of a nice blend, and I'm kind of pulling at the color, just dabbing it with the cotton ball. Maybe I want to put a little bit more of that apricot down. Yes, this is messy. Gotta warn you, it's messy, but it's effective. It's very, very effective. In fact, I'm going into some of the area that I already colored, pulling the color away, and that gives it kind of a nice mottled look. So this to me is the easiest for anyone who is wanting to color a background. Now, one of the things that I could have done, and I'm just going to do a little bit right here so that you can see it, is one of the things I could have done, and which I will do right now, is I could have poured a little bit of fabric medium in first. I'm going to wash my brush out so that I don't get mixture in right away. And you could come in here and maybe put some of the fabric medium down first and carry that out to where you're going to be coloring. In other words, dampen your fabric, not saturated. Do not get this saturated. It does not need to be saturated. Just a very light coating of the fabric medium. Then you can come in with your yellow, and you can see right off the bat, it really gives an even softer color to the yellow. Okay, ooh, I like that. In fact, maybe I'm a lot happier with that than I am this darker yellow. But this is why you learn different techniques, so that you can decide on what to do. Now I'm going to stick it into the apricot. Again, nice, soft, warm color. Now the good thing about having that fabric medium down is it will prevent any kind of bleeding into your work that's in here. Just watch it, be very careful. That's why you want to blend as much fabric medium into this. And then last but not least, the orange. Oh yeah, I'm really liking that. So I guess if I were to really recommend a technique, I'd probably say the second technique is maybe a little bit easier to use than the first. But once again, you can come back in and use your cotton ball to kind of absorb the excess and kind of soften that look as it merges towards the bottom. So hopefully you can see that. That's a little bit, and oh, you see blotches behind there because there is still the paper tearaway, and you see it will get wet. Now, my suggestion is once this completely dries, you probably will want to take away your backing, at least around your work itself. And that will help kind of soften that blotchy up. Or, if you would like, remove your stabilizer from your already colored work, just on the outside. Do not try to remove anything on the inside. You'll distort the stitching. But just remove everything that's on the outside, and that might get rid of some of the blotching as well. I don't think you'll get rid of it entirely, but actually blotching is kind of one of the things you want to do. I'm going to just get me a little bit more orange, darken this up. Oh, I'm really liking this, y'all. Yeah, this is fun. I'm about ready to start a new quilt called Animals Gone Zen 2. I will be coloring all of the backgrounds in those animals. Unlike the first one, which were all done in white, I really would like to start coloring backgrounds in so that people can see. You don't have to just color your work. You can actually color the background too and make it. Hi everyone, I'm back, and I wanted to see what the effect of using fabric medium first and then color looked like versus this, which was just nothing but color first and then fabric medium. And I'm very happy with this. So let me encourage you to watch the second half of my previous video on coloring your background fabric. And oh, the other thing I did too is I did take the tearaway. So I'm going to suggest from now on that you do remove your tearaway as much as you can around the outside of the plant. Now, I did not remove it in here. It doesn't look bad, but it does get modelly looking. So the one thing you do want to try to do is take away as much of the tearaway if you are going to paint your background. So that gives you kind of another look. Again, I'm very happy. It was, as I referred to earlier, the Dynaflow and the Dynaflow Bright Orange. And then I also used some of the Art Philosophy Tangerine and orange red color to make the various different colors that went into this. And I'm very happy. Again, I personally like the modeled look. If you don't like the modeled look, or if you wanted something that was simpler, more than likely the easiest thing to do is to make a very watered down version of a color that you like for the background and just color it all over in that single solitary color. You will still get a bit of a modeled look. I don't think it's actually possible with fabric to not get this model look. If I can figure out how to do it, I will certainly post a video on how to do that. But for the time being, I think this modeled look is basically, and I'm going to turn my phone here to the side and do a close-up. Oh, and you can see the shimmer. Ooh, I like this look. So I'm very happy with this section that I'm showing you here, even the way it looks up here in the dark. That's just a curl. Let me pull that down. There you go. You can see, and by the way, the rest of that is just shadows. So, but again, the color is very, very happy. I don't mind this over here, but I think you get a lot of this when you use straight color without the fabric medium underneath. So maybe that is something you like, and so it's no big deal. I think I would tend to put the fabric medium down first in order to give it a smoother surface and give it a smoother look like this over here. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact me through my website, www.medinadomarts.com. That's MEDINADOMARTS.com. Thanks for watching.